open session.
Second.
Vicki?
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes, thank you. Welcome to the June 19th, 2014 meeting of the Anderson Township Board of Trustees. I'd like to call the meeting to order a second time and ask that you join me in the most important thing we're going to do today, and that's the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make a motion to adopt the agenda. Second.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes. Good. First item on the hit parade is a public hearing. Case 3-2014, Anderson, approving and adopting miscellaneous text amendments to the Anderson Township zoning resolution.
So
That
before
doesn't
you,
look like Paul.
No, I'm not Paul. He's on a beach somewhere. So you all initiated these text amendments in March of this year, and then they went through both the Hamilton County Regional Planning Commission as well as our own zoning commission for their review, comment, and then both of those bodies recommended approval of them. They're here back before you this evening. We can kind of break them into a few different categories. Some of them are to bring our resolution into compliance with the Ohio Revised Code and their definitions of agriculture. Some of them are to match existing county resolutions, such as their sidewalk regulations and the impervious surface ratio. Some of them are even to match our own other plans, such as the Beachmont and Downtown Plan. We're increasing some setbacks in those areas, and some things are just cleaning up language, such as landscaping and wheel stops. So we've got that item before you this evening.
Okay. Any questions?
Any questions?
I don't.
We better wait there, Allison. We may have a crowd coming up here with questions. This is a public hearing. If anyone wishes to speak on behalf of or in opposition to these text amendments, please come forward now. We ask that you state your name and address and hold your comments to at least an hour. So if anyone would like to make a comment, please come forward now. Well, that was painless. I might just mention here for clarification that in the last number of years, and I can't remember how many times we've done this, it's important that we do tweaking, if you will, of our zoning resolution, and that's what these are. These are things that we've encountered or seen, or because, as Allison said, because of changes in the law. So there's nothing earth-shattering. I believe it's just good business to update them. Otherwise, you get 10, 20 years down the road and say, hey, how come we didn't correct it? So that's what we're doing. With that, if no one wishes to comment any further, I will close the public hearing and ask the indulgence of the board if they would like to move the action item forward for approval.
Let's do it.
I make a motion to adopt and approve and adopting the miscellaneous text amendments to the Anderson Township zoning resolution as presented.
You want to read this?
Not particularly.
You want to second that motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Allison. Okay. Chief Mark Ober, going to make a presentation to...
Tom, if you could come on up here, please. As the board's been made aware, Assistant Chief Tom Reamer has announced his retirement July 4th. So with that said, I'd like to say a few things for the public in case they don't know Tom. He started in 1982 as a volunteer He became a career firefighter in 1988, also as a paramedic at that time. He held the rank of lieutenant, bureau chief, and his current rank of assistant chief. And during his career, he attended various classes all over the United States. Really did. He attended wherever he could. Most of them were paid for by the government. He also went to the National Fire Academy, where he graduated with Executive Fire Officers Program, EFO, class for a fire officer. Tom's latest accomplishments involved reducing expenditures in the life safety department. He trained on-duty staff and turned around our inspection program where we had cutbacks in our administration, and he was able to orchestrate a lot of things with our on-duty personnel to reduce some cost and overtime and additional staffing. And in 2013, we were able to accomplish under his leadership a 100% inspection completion of all our businesses. So that was a monumental task. Regionally, Tom has been a member of the Hamilton County and the federal USAR team. There's a local team and a federal team. And he was one of 2 employees to travel to New York the day of 9/11 to start assisting for the next 2 weeks. We thank him for his 30-plus years, and we wish him the best in his retirement. Tom, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. And just a couple of things I want to say. I want to thank my wife, Vicki, and my daughter, Laura. And firefighting can be a unique job, and I know for me, I couldn't have done it without the support at home, and they've been awesome. I've had the opportunity to work with some fantastic people here in the township and meet some great people in the community, and that's been a real blessing. And it's just been wonderful to work here in such a great township. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Please.
Peter's not here. Peter.
No. Our state representative, Peter Stelberg, is not going to be here this evening. I don't know if he had any, Vicki, I don't know if he had any report for you, or is he?
No, he did not have an update for us at this time.
Okay. We'll look forward to the next one. All right. Every meeting, we set aside time for citizens who want to come forward or wish to come forward and discuss matters with the board. If you would like to be part of this public forum, please come forward, state your name and address. We only ask that you try to be non-repetitive and hold your comments, if possible, to about 5 minutes. So the public forum is open. Anyone who wishes to come forward, please do. I guess that's a no.
I guess it's a no.
Okay, we'll give you one more chance here, but anyway, thank you. We'll close the public forum portion of the meeting and move on to trustee comments. Mr. Girth?
I just want to mention that we're adding to our list of great events here in Anderson Township this weekend. We have the food truck rally, which is going to comprise of about a dozen trucks. There's going to be live music. There's going to be adult and kid beverages. There is going to be games for kids. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because it would not have happened had it not been for a lot of hard work from 2 of our staff members here at the township. One is Nancy Downs, and many of you might know Nancy, who runs the farmers market. Nancy has worked tirelessly on that effort, and that is what has kind of sparked this, because there's always been a food truck at the farmers market. And the other person I want to mention is sitting in the back. Molly Moorfield is also the co-chair of this event. And thank you, ladies, for all the hard work that you guys have put into this. I know there's been some twists and turns to this event, so appreciate you and all the work you've done. Thank you.
I would add to that from Mali and particularly from Mali, I learned a lot about other communities that were having these things, and they're incredibly successful. It's amazing. You know, food truck rally doesn't sound that exotic, but boy, the turnout is, what is it, in Milford, I guess there's a big one, and Jungle Gyms has one there, and they have sponsors that provide food, so it should be a great, there won't be any rain. It will end at noon on Saturday, so it should be a great day. Thank you.
It's from 4 to 10 on Saturday, just
4 to 10.
so people know.
Thank you. And it's right here?
Yeah, up at the Anderson Station, where the
Anderson
Metro stop
Station.
is.
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Pappas?
I'd just like to ask everybody, you might notice that our fiscal officer's not here today. He had an accident, and I'd ask you to keep Ken Dietz just in your thoughts. It's nothing serious, but he had to have some surgery done. He broke his arm in a couple places, and if he's watching, we just want to say, hi, Ken, we miss you tonight, and get well quickly. And just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. It turned out to be a little more complicated, but anyway, he's on the mend.
Thank you. You're right. And I'd just like to make a comment. We've had been an ongoing problem up on Mount Carmel Road with trucks going particularly down the hill, but some of them coming up the hill, and they aren't permitted there. Yesterday, I guess it was, Vicki, that we did put up one of our speed radar devices that also has a readout to try to warn people, and we'll continue to work with the county to do everything in our power to alleviate this problem. The bad condition that we have to work in is that it's a county road, and you have to understand that we don't have total control over it, so we've got to work diligently to get the attention of these folks. So, but we'll continue to work. There's as you can see up above. What was really quite interesting is that one of the gentlemen who lives up there is very concerned about it and had a right to be. He has been started a website with the purpose of actually he's recording the trucks as they go, which is really great because, you know, for our government to get involved in videoing, that turns everybody off. But as a citizen, it's amazing. You see the names of the truck, you see who these people are, and interestingly, the ones that I've seen, they weren't local businesses. They were people who were serving those local businesses, and that's a big difference. So we can't just blame the regular cast of characters who live in, or operate in the Angkor area. Anyway, we'll keep you posted on that, and we really appreciate his effort to resolve this problem, and he got our attention, and that's the way you do it. So that's great. Thank you. Okay. As Mr. Pappas said, our fiscal officer is not here, and I think there are rules that we can't discuss his health condition, but that's okay. But that's all right. He said it is too late. He got out.
Very general.
Debbie Hucker is here to give us a full report.
Oh, yeah, it's a big one. I just want to let the board know that I have the financial reports for May, if they'd like to look at them. Also, there are no appropriation changes for the month of June, which makes Mr. Girth happy. And also for the final thing, we have 3 sets of minutes that need to be approved by the board if they would like. One is April 17th, 2014, May 1st, 2014, and May 15th, 2014.
Excellent. We will treat those in 3 separate motions, if we may.
Okay.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes from April 17th, 2014.
Second.
Mr. Pappas?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Girth? Mr. Jackson?
Okay.
If you give me a second, I'd like to make a motion
Yeah, make a motion.
to approve the minutes from the May 1st, 2014.
Second.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
I will abstain only because I wasn't there. So,
And I will make a motion to approve the minutes from the May 15th, 2014 meeting.
Second.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
yes, thank you.
If you don't have
Debbie,
any other
nice
questions, I'm
work.
done. Thanks.
Nice work, dear. And if Ken remembers who he talked to, tell him we said hello. Okay, our law director, Margaret Comey.
I have no report this evening.
All right, you're 6 for 6, dear. Way to go. Planning and zoning, Allison Hodson in place of Paul Drury.
Back again. So before you this evening, we've got 2 nuisance abatement resolutions. Barb Hefner in the Planning and Zoning Department's been working very diligently to whittle this down from 6 properties to now the 2 that are before you this evening. They are 7413 Tower View Lane and 6727 Salem Road. The map on your screen at this time is Tower View. And this is an image of it. Barb Hefner did update me that over this past weekend, a neighbor did mow the front yard. They were having a graduation party and wanted to clean it up for that. But she has been in contact with that neighbor as well as the bank, and the property is not yet in compliance. And then moving to the 6727 Salem, that map is on your screen now. And then you'll see from the image that this property is also still has not been brought into compliance. She's been working with the banks on both, and we are requesting your consideration of these resolutions at this time.
Thank you. You might point out, Allison, that these pictures taken June 12th, by the time we go through this process,
They're much
that
higher.
grass will be
Yes.
at the roof line, so it's really important that we move quickly on these things. So, do we have motions?
I make a motion to adopt the resolution determining existence of nuisance on land owned by Cynthia K. Carter, 7413 Tower View Lane, providing for notice and remediation.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
I will also make a motion to adopt resolution determining existence of nuisance on land owned by John and Monica Reel? 6727 Salem Road, providing for notice and remediation.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes. Thank you.
The second item under Planning and Zoning this evening are 3 initiatives. They include We Thrive, Taking Root, and Green Umbrella. So before you are several resolutions of support in regards to those.
We have 3 resolutions before us.
Okay. I will make a motion, let's see, for the first one is the We Thrive.
Yeah.
I move that we adopt We Thrive as a resolution of support.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
And we have, I should mention, we have Mary Ellen Kramer from the Hamilton County Public Health Department here, just to make sure that we did that. Thank you.
Second one, I guess, is the Taking Root campaign.
Whichever one you want.
Yeah, I'd take that one. I'd just like to make a motion that we move for passage of the resolution supporting the Taking Root campaign.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
And also, I'd like to introduce a motion moving for adoption of the resolution of support supporting the Green Umbrella.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes. Thank you, Allison.
These are good examples of continued collaboration with other public entities, and it's, it's great. It's good to see this, so thanks.
And they match up very well with activities that we've been very much engaged in over the years. So
Right.
And if I may add, it's collaboration not only on the staff level and with the other organizations, but a lot of our volunteers, our resident volunteers are involved in this process, which is wonderful.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Sheriff's Office, we have Sergeant Kevin Bly here.
I have nothing.
No report. Do you want to walk up so you make sure you're on the camera? There you go.
That's right.
I have nothing. I do want to make a remark on the Mount Carmel Road.
Yes.
I think there was, within the past year, we did some statistics. There was like 87 sites. 37 of those sites were for the trucks going down the hill and all that. So we are stepping up enforcement in that regards.
It's a tough, thank you. It's a tough one, but I think we are all convinced that if we could, in fact, have that access road built at the bottom of 32, it would make it a heck of a lot easier for those drivers, and they won't want to go down Mount Carmel Hill.
Right,
so.
and I think a better signage from the county, too. I mean, better signage would help out a lot.
Absolutely, yes, that's what we've
And
said
like you
here.
said, the truckers, they're given GPS, and they're just following their GPS. They don't know.
And you have to catch them early enough, as I keep saying, having been in the truck business for the better part of my life. You don't see it until it's
Right.
too late.
Right.
Then what do? Back up the hill?
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way, so, anyway,
Okay.
thank you. Appreciate you coming.
All right.
Public Works Department, Richard Shelley.
Good evening. I have 3 items before the board tonight. The first one, as they say, is timing is everything, but the ratification of the application for the Hamilton County 20% distribution funds. As the board is aware, this is the money that the county engineer sets aside each year to give back to the jurisdictions, which is our portion of the license plate tax that the individuals pay. In this case, the $88,316 was a culmination of 2 years, 2013 and 2014 distribution. We didn't really have a good project to fit the $44,000 into last year, so we had some discussion and decided if we held it off, put it with the other 44, had made it up to 88, we then would have enough to put a substantial project together and go in and do some sidewalk work. So, but what you have before you is a resolution to ratify, because the timing of that was that it had to be turned in at the end of June, the end of May, and prior to this board meeting, and so we had to expedite the application process and go ahead and get it. So what you have is saying that it was okay that I
We
did
better
that.
pass this resolution quickly, eh?
Well, we'd have to turn down the check at this point, too, but
Do we have a motion?
Sure. I move to ratify the application made by the Director of Public Works for Hamilton County 20% funds to be used towards the 2014 Township Sidewalk Repair Program in the amount of $88,316.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
thank you. The next item up for the board's consideration is the Clough Pike, Fox Hollow Drive, Sandcliff Drive, and then Nagel Road to YMCA Drive sidewalk connectors. This is a couple of links that, if you will help tie in Clough Pike very nicely. We have tied in Nagel, and this will take us over to the YMCA property. Staff has been working on this plans and easements and property owners' concurrence for well over a year. And what you have before you is the results of the bid. I believe there were 6 bidders, and Atleta Construction at $319,000, $348,50 was the apparent low.
Do we have a motion?
I move that this board hereby accepts the bid of $319,348.50 from Atleta Construction, deemed to be the most responsive and responsible bidder for the Clough Pike Sidewalk, Fox Hollow Drive to Sandcliff Drive, Nagel Road to YMCA Driveway project, in accordance with the bid plans and specifications, together with a 10% contingency for a maximum appropriation of $351,283.50 in TIF funds Further, this board hereby authorizes and directs the township administrator to give timely notice of award to the contractor and, after consultation with law director, to enter into a contract with Adlita Construction in accordance with their bid for the Clough Pike Sidewalk, Fox Hollow Drive to Sandcliff Drive, Nagel Road to YMCA Driveway project.
I'm sorry, could you repeat
Would
that
you repeat that?
one more time, please?
You knew that was coming.
Second.
Discussion. I would like to just point out, when people look at these things on the, look in the map and you say, well, this is that section here and that section here, we're beginning connectivity here. All these pieces are finally coming together, and it's amazing when you look at this particular group, that both sides of, different sides of Clough, what they end up doing. So it's great work. We continue to do the pieces.
Bids are close, too.
Okay.
The bids are close, too.
Bids were close, yeah. I think the $5,326 differential between the first and second. Good.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Thank you. And the final item I have for the board is the request that the board set a date for a public hearing for the Foxbrook Lighting subdivision. Foxbrook subdivision is currently off of Clough Pike opposite Bruns, and they are in the process of putting in the roadway curbing, and as a part of that, they wish to do a lighting district, so this would set the public hearing date for that to be heard.
Do we have a motion?
I move to set a public hearing for the Foxbrook Lighting District at 6:00 p.m. on July 17th, 2014.
Second.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Fire and Rescue, Chief Ober.
Yes, the only thing we have on the agenda tonight is just to make sure the board was aware that, excuse me, we recently went through our ISO rating again for the fire service, and our last rating was in 2005. And basically, what happens is the ISO folks come in, look at all of our records, bring our staff together, ask questions, do surveys, the water systems involved, how we're dispatched, and how we provide fire service. So basically where we're at is we were a 3, made it to a 3 in 2005 on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the best. We're still a 3. We did improve, I should say, with some things we've been doing, and everything's going pretty well from that side of things. The impact to the residents, and we'll talk about residential and commercial, will be minimal, but we're still waiting to hear from some of the insurance carriers, because the insurance service office people themselves only give out the number. It's the local commercial and residential, and our staff was doing some of that research and was unable to get some of that today. One of the insurance companies said they don't care about the number, they don't use it, they use their own system. So with that said, some of the insurance carriers will call up the township and ask, what is the ISO rating of Anderson Township's fire department? Our staff can say a 3, and then their insurance premiums are adjusted according to that number. So that's a 28-page summary.
Condensed.
Any questions that the board might have?
No, I do have a comment in that, and we've talked about this before. People have to understand that to go from a 3 to a 2 is really a quantum leap in terms of cost to the community, because they're very much manpower related. So if we wanted to get a 2 or a 1, we would have to double the size of our staff. Cities like Cincinnati have these lower ratings often because they have firehouses that are very close in their urban area, and because they have a whole lot of people. So the trade-off becomes whether or not there's a justification in reduction in insurance rates to offset this tremendous increase in personnel costs. So.
Good point.
Yeah, for right now, we're
We're happy with the three, right?
Yes, we're happy with the three.
Good.
And the one thing that we need to remind the public of is about 80% of what we do is EMS, and that is only taken into consideration here when it pulls away from our fire staffing. We get no credit for providing EMS, so this is just fire rating itself. So we're doing all right.
Is that right? So it's,
Yeah.
and because we have dual
Yes, dual.
officers.
Right. So they look at our EMS calls, and because we augment our responses on certain structure fires, which that's what they're looking at the most, with mutual aid and how we're dispatched, that helps us as well.
Great.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Township Administrator Vicki Earhart with her crack staff.
Yes, good evening. Ms. Parker has the first item. These are, the two items that are coming before the board at this time are both decisions arising from executive session discussions.
Well, as Russ knows, and the two new trustees will know, every time this year, I come before the board and ask for consideration of the renewal of the employees' medical insurance coverage. This year, I come to you with a 3.9% increase. This is to renew our current coverage with no changes. I would like to add that since sending you the memo in your board packet outlining this renewal, I learned that the 3.9% is actually our contribution to our pool's buildup of our reserve fund. As you know, we are part of a large self-insurance pool. As a self-insurance pool, the state of Ohio requires us to accumulate a rainy day fund, if you will, of $1.2 million. So the 3.9% increase is actually our contribution to the reserve. What that means is our portion of our premium for our claims cost is exactly where it should be, and that's a really good balance. So our premiums are where they should be to cover our claims, and we're coming out even on that. And I really have to commend all the departments, all the individual township employees who've been very cooperative in the changes that we've made with our coverage that did bring down our premium cost and our claims cost to get us to this point. So, with that said, if the board is comfortable, I would ask for a renewal of our CLGP BP medical insurance coverage. That's a mouthful.
Sure, I'd move to authorize the Assistant Township Administrator to renew the township's current employee medical insurance coverage with the Center for Local Government Benefits pool for the upcoming 2014-2015 plan year.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just briefly, I'd like to say what amazing that not only is it relatively your premiums flat, your increases just for going to the pool, given the state of, everyone's read about insurance cost coverage or increases in this country, so I think that's amazing.
And it took us a while to get to that point. At first, when we started this pool, it wasn't like that.
Right.
But we all believed, following the model of other groups who had done this, that given time, we would get to that point, and we did. So we feel really good about that.
Good job.
Good work.
Thank you, good.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes. Thank you, Suzanne. Nice work.
Thank you.
For this next item, I've asked Chief Ober to join Ms. Parker to make the presentation to the board.
Well, as you are aware, we have some upcoming retirements in our fire and rescue department. Just a few minutes ago, we commended Assistant Chief Tom Reamer for his service. In addition to Chief Reamer's retirement, we have a little later this summer, Battalion Chief Paul Cunningham, who will also be retiring after many years of service. And we very happily congratulate those two employees for their retirement, and we appreciate their long service. As such, we now have an opportunity for other employees to move up in the fire and rescue department. And that necessitated a testing process for our internal candidates. These were only lieutenants who were eligible to test for this. And it was a 2-day process. We believe it was a very thorough testing process with the assistance of the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association, who came here and issued a very impartial exam. And that combined with interviews, with some writing examples, multiple choice questions, those all went together. And the result is a list of lieutenants that will be promoted into the upcoming 2 positions, assistant chief and battalion chief. And I would like to turn it over to Chief Ober to actually announce those names.
The 2 candidates that, as Suzanne said, successfully completed and finished up top, the number 1 finish was Lieutenant John Smith, and the second place finish was Lieutenant Michael Miners. And as Suzanne mentioned, it was very thorough. The other 3 individuals are going to be placed on the list and the order that they placed, and will also act in the absence of the regular battalion chiefs. So thank you very much for allowing us to do the process.
If I may add, the reason that we are recommending the appointment of 2 individuals at this time, rather than replacing Assistant Chief Reamer at an Assistant Chief level, is to assist with the flexibility that Chief Ober has with scheduling with 4 battalion chiefs rather than 3, which will also help us reduce costs at this point. We would also like to thank Trustee Andrew Pappas for assisting. He participated in the second round of interviews with all 5 of our candidates. The candidates all did an excellent job. We congratulate those that, even though they were not first or second on the list, we were impressed with the level of knowledge that our employees have and their ability to perform. So we would like to congratulate all 5 of them, and again, thank you for your participation.
Great guys. I mean, really, 5, it's a shame that you had picked 2, but 5, very interesting. Thanks for letting me participate.
Couldn't find 2 better people than Sean and Mike. That's really great. Do we have a motion?
Sure. I move to promote Sean A. Smith and Michael T. Miners to the rank of Battalion Chief, and to promote Robert Herlinger and Brian Carlson to the rank of Lieutenant, all within the Anderson Township Fire and Rescue Department, effective July 1st, 2014.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Thank you very much. We plan to invite these individuals to the July 17th meeting of the board to have their official oath of office at that time. So thank you. That is all we have for the board this evening.
Good.
Good.
Chief, did this, that promotion won't impact our ISO rating, will it? Okay, just checking. Okay.
With that, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I would say before we vote that our next regular monthly board meeting is July 17th. We have a lighting hearing, and we're going to swear in those gentlemen, among other things, so you want to be here early. Seating is limited. Meeting starts at 6 p.m. If you have any questions, call 688-8400. And with that, we thank you all for coming.
Mr.
We will
Pappas?
vote.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.